everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. And today's featured guest is an artist, singer-songwriter, Venessa Jackson. I'm so excited to hear more about her house music journey. So are you ready? Then let's go. So here she is. Venessa Jackson is in the house.
All the way from South Africa. Thank you so much for having me, Heidi.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you were able to join into this little podcast, which embraces the global house music culture. Very happy to have you joining in.
How can I not when you are so supportive towards me? And I'm always rooting for you. And you inspire me a lot, honestly speaking. I'm really impressed by the fact that, you're doing music and DJing. So big ups to you and keep up the amazing work.
Thank you. I could say the same things all about you. Thank you for always supporting and encouraging.
Welcome.
That's what I'm always thinking that our sisters in the business should be doing, supporting and helping each other to rise, because we have to sometimes fight a little bit maybe more on our spot there and among the big amount of people. So always the support is something very beautiful, especially when it happens so organic and natural way. So that's always beautiful.
Absolutely. And that's the power that music has, actually. I mean, it unites nations better than any religion or government can. So big ups to music.
True, true, true. Music unites people. So, as you know, a bit about this podcast, it is very snapshot kind of interview. I'm going to ask a few questions regarding your house music journey, and
Oh.
just to introduce, your artist profile, a little bit about that journey to our audience, and then, of course, in the end. I know that people are encouraged to know more, so we'll share a little bit about the social media, where to find out more about you and your artist profile and so forth. But therefore, I'm gonna just go straight to the first question, and I always ask this from my guests, to say and describe in your own words, who is Venessa Jackson?
Well, hello to all of the listeners. And thank you once again, Heidi, for having me. I am Venessa Jackson, all the way from South Africa. A lot of people think that I'm from the USA, from the Jackson 5. I'm just kidding. No, but many people do think that I'm actually from the USA. I think it's my name and surname. And Venessa Jackson is not a stage name, it is my birth name, you know. And born and bred in South Africa. My mom was one of those obsessive moms that love entering me in all the kiddies competitions and talent contests. So I've basically been on the stage from the age of 5, and I won my first dance competition at the age of 5, and I won a vinyl. It was Cool in the Gang vinyl.
Oh,
And so I've been basically on stage from a very young age. So I'll say camera, lights, action chose me. I didn't basically choose it. Yeah. And I've been basically on stage throughout school with community shows. I was the kid that was walking around with the songbook with all of the lyrics for all the famous shows at the time. So music is basically in my blood.
yes. I'm very happy that your mom was kind of supportive mom there, who put you there to the stage and initiated this.
Absolutely.
But I'm quite sure then, because it is in your blood, one way or the other, you would have, found your way to that path. I'm
Yes, I agree.
100% about that. Yeah. It's the calling and also a lifestyle, I would say, way to be in this world. So you discovered your singing talent very early, and you already mentioned that you won even competitions in the early age, and of course then afterwards as well, and international ones. You've been recognized internationally as a vocalist, and again, congratulations of that as well.
Thank you.
But that actually brings me now to second question. When you mentioned about the songwriting book, when did you recognize that you have a desire to write your own songs? How that journey started?
Um, I think from primary school,
Mhm.
I took up history as a subject and geography. So there was a lot of theory in there. And during the exams, we had to summarize it. And I was having problems with that. And then I started putting the homework into music. So at that time, I was only listening to rap. It was Snoop Dogg, Tupac, MC Light, Notorious B.I.G., Salt and Pepper,
Yeah, classics.
the history assignment, and I would summarize it into a rap with the beat, and I would
Oh,
teach it to my classmates. So during exams, we were literally humming, rapping, and writing, And that's how we became the A class in primary school. And that's when I got popular later on in primary school. So
okay.
I used to buy TDK cassettes at the time. I'm giving away my age now. And I
Oh,
used to record music on the radio,
mhm.
write down the lyrics. And I think that's when I was actually testing my ears, but not actually realizing that I was training myself and my hearing because I'd keep on pressing forward, wind, rewind, making sure that I was jotting down the lyrics correctly. And I used to loan out my songbook in school. They used to pay me 50 cents. And I
Mhm.
remember the time the TDKs were, I think, 1 Rand 50, and I would use that same money to buy TDKs and record more music. And that's how I started learning how to memorize music. And then I started writing music. I think grade standard 4 is what, grade 6? Yeah, from grade 6 onwards. I never did anything with the releases or the songs until only later on when I really started releasing music, but I've been writing from primary school.
Oh, that's so exciting, actually. The whole story behind that, and such a creative way. Again, respecting your love for music and such an intelligent way of handling the studies and putting it into the rap. This is something that now youth take some beautiful tip there, but absolutely fascinating. And now that leads to my next question. You mentioned already that you kind of started with that hip hop rap influences and so on. So who would you say are the artists that have affected more or most into your music or inspired you the most?
I would say Queen Latifah, definitely.
Mhm.
Angelique Kidjo, Monique Bingham, Portia Monique, and Rihanna. I love her feistiness. And
Yeah.
Lauren Hill, definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful set of artists right there, and also representing a bit various kind of vocal styles, from
Yes.
the hip hop to soulful and more, and
Yeah.
also Angelique Kidjo's music, beautiful. I've been listening that also, and time to times, and all the rhythmical elements there, beautiful vocals. So that's. Great thing to have that kind of. I'm always saying that it's like an appetite for music. It's great to have a good appetite and wide appetite of music.
Definitely. Definitely. And I don't, because like I don't want to box myself and just say that I am a house vocalist or a house music artist, but it just so happens that all of the projects that I get to work on or get given to work on are always under the house umbrella. It's either Afro house, soulful house, disco house, garage house, deep house. So but I wouldn't turn down if I were to get hip hop or R&B. It's just that I don't get to work on those projects, you know?
Yeah, and that's actually beautifully said as well, because I also believe in the freedom of expression, and just, as
Yes,
an artist, being
totally.
able to fuse and experiment, and we shouldn't be, I think, even label us as a particular genre artist or so on. Of course, I mean, there are people who really enjoy and represent that, but I feel that when making the vocal arts and writing the songs, it's good to have that wider appetite and more openness to
Yes,
explore
I
different
agree.
genres.
I
So
100%.
so then I'm gonna ask you, when you mentioned about that somehow the path has brought you more or less to the house music journey. What would you say? What got you into house music originally?
Um, in 2004, I went around hunting for a recording studio to make a demo because in those days you had to make a demo and send it off to Sony or EMI or BMG Records and cross your fingers and hope that they were
Yeah,
impressed enough to sign you a deal, you know? And it so happened that as I was in the process of doing that, I fell pregnant that same year in 2004. So that took a back seat because I had to now be a mom. And I never stopped writing.
mm,
And I think the writing really was so much was at its strongest because I was now writing on a more mature level. And being a mom, I was so much more emotional. I was experiencing so many things. My writing abilities enhanced at the time and got richer. I
yeah.
just wrote. So I had a file with like about almost 100 songs that I had written so
Oh,
that when I really got into the industry and I started getting like beats and productions from different producers, I would just page through that file with lyrics
yeah,
and I would see, okay, which set of lyrics is going to match here. Yes, I would make a few adjustments or whatever for it to sit to the music, but I was like prepared, like I had stock, basically.
yeah,
I was like a wholesaler. I had stock. So from writing all those years, and that's something that made me actually realize that the writing, the composition, is always relevant because if you're writing about things that you can relate to 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, it just shows that you're writing about things that are relevant, you know, people from all over the world can relate to. And I find that that's so important because a lot of artists get kind of sucked into writing about the little corner store that's selling that packet of chips or that lollipop that only people in the communities would know, but somebody in Australia or Japan or London won't be able to relate. And I think that is what kind of destroys our music from traveling because we're not writing about things that are relatable to other people around the country.
I completely agree, and I think that the emotions there which you described, when getting pregnant and then becoming mother and everything, those are heightened very much, and we
Yeah.
becoming as a mother, we actually have to work so much on ourselves and our own growth and emotional side and everything. So it's beautiful that you were able to really channel that to the lyrics and make material that touches people, because as we mentioned in the beginning, that music unites people. That's the beauty
Yeah.
at its best, I think, when you can really reach out other people around the world, and they get back to you and say that I felt this somehow. It's one of those feelings that you really can't. No money can buy that, you know.
No, no money, not at all. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying, you know, and when you get inboxed from fans or, you know, your followers, your supporters, people that you don't even know, and they tell you stories like, I was about to end my life and I listened to the song and I changed the way I was thinking, and it gave me hope and this and that. For me, that alone is a win in itself. I don't care about whatever Grammy or whatever, status that society may give you. But if you're on a personal journey, because music is a very spiritual thing. And remember, the music will embarrass you before it glorifies you. You've got to do your groundwork and you've got to pay your dues. If you're going to use music for the wrong purposes, then you're finished.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and the message there and that spiritual thing, the vibes that like we call it, or frequency of the music, how it affects people, it is absolutely true. You think about different genres and how people behave when they listen particular sounds or so on. Very aggressive sound, we already know that it adds up to the emotion. We feel,
Yeah,
we hear something very touching, something sad, we respond. So that is something that I don't think we should dismiss or take very lightly, because it is very important what kind of vibes and frequencies you um, share with others, and what you also want to receive. It's something to do with the
absolutely.
spirituality and health, I think. As
Beautiful
well.
gift.
Yeah. All right. So I would now like to continue on to the next question. This is again a little bit regarding the songwriting and your releases. You have released a lot of material, beautiful material around the world in different
Thank
labels.
you.
But is there some particular song or songs that touch you somehow the most? And perhaps why?
From my releases,
Hmm. Yeah.
there is one. I love them all. I call my releases my babies because when you are a parent, you may have a couple of children, but you know that not all of your children will shine and bloom at the same time. But you don't turn your backs on them. They're your kids. You got to still keep on nourishing them and encouraging them and feeding them and giving them love. So all of my releases are my babies. I call them my babies.
Yeah.
But my special baby has got to be Save Me. It was produced by Elias Kazayas and George North. It was released on Union Records. I wrote that song at a time in my life where I was this close to giving up on music.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
I was so close on throwing in the towel and were like, okay, I'm going to go and look for a job now or do something else with my life. Sometimes with the industry, it can be unfair or it can just not be your time. But I feel that if you feel that something is for you, don't give up on it. Because whenever you're about to reach a life of heaven, trust me, you're going to go through hell. So I was investing a lot in my brand as Venessa Jackson. And I felt like I was pouring water in a bucket that had a hole because I wasn't seeing any returns, not financially, not with growth of the brand, nothing. And I was really down and I would say depressed. And I wrote that song, Save Me, because it was a song that I was writing out. I was calling out to my creator, like, please save me. I can't take any more. Just, I'm leaving everything in your hands right now. And after the release of that song, like, there was so much positive change in my life and in my career. And I'm so grateful that I never quit.
Yes.
So, Save Me is definitely very special to me.
That's a very powerful background with that situation and with that song that you just mentioned. And I have to say that yes, it is I can definitely recognize that feeling. There are days and there are some phases in the life when you feel like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm just banging my head on the wall. You invest, you do so much and everything like this, and it just doesn't seem to be working. But I think what you described, I don't know, I feel that we share a little bit similar thing, that because the motive, the reason why you do the music, it has to be something more deeper. So it kind of like um, keeps you going, and it shines through, and then you use that music um, as a vessel for channeling whatever comes through, and you just need to
Absolutely.
kind of like a trust that process, even in the moment when there is like, to have a certainty when there's like nothing is telling you the opposite, so it is something very familiar, I would say, to people in our business, so to say. But you never know, then sometimes it's the
Exactly.
most surprising track or surprising incident or situation, that it suddenly then opens up a multitude
And
of
the thing
opportunities,
is,
just like
you
that.
never know, like the formula or the ingredients to that glue that's going to
Yeah,
stick the people to the song. That's what I
yeah,
always say. Just release the music. Stop trying to over perfect it and over analyze it and point of where you think it's perfect. And then you end up sitting with the hard drive with over 100 songs that you haven't released, but you could be sitting with that song that can change your life forever. Because it may take you 100 songs to get to that one song. It may take you 10 years to get to that 1 year that'll change your life. But at the end of the day, if your frequencies are aligned and your energy, is aligned and it's your time, it's going to happen. But you have to put in the work at the end of the day.
that's the thing. It's like earning that kind of um,
Exactly.
blessing, I would say, earning that kind of blessing, then but when you put in the work. um, Beautiful thoughts here, very beautiful thoughts here. All right. As you know, the interview is always a very snapshot kind of interview, but I asked you a little bit about your favorite songs and favorite artists, and what got you to the house music. I'm sure that people watching this episode would also like to know what is currently maybe going on when it comes to the creative project. Would you like to share something about that?
Where do I even start? I just come out of an amazing release with Bomb Strike Records. Adina Howard, Freak Like Me. I want to freak in the morning and freak in the evening. It was a bit of a stress releasing that song because Adina just released like a soulful remix the same week that we dropped our funky remix. So we were a bit stressed out, but it did amazingly well. We went number one on Juno.
Congratulations.
We charting on
Beautiful.
TrackSource, Beatport, Apple Music, iTunes, like on all the major digital platforms, it's charting. We did amazingly well. So that's what's running currently right now. Coming up, I've got a track titled The City with Raising Records and Flambe. I also have some producers from USA, Detroit, DJ Right Now, and Marcus Harris. I've got two tracks with them coming out on Bedfunk Records. I've got M. Donini, the project is being overseen by his manager, Matteo. That's some work from him there. I've got a good couple of tracks coming up with one of my favorite DJs, DJ Monster. I also have, Lelo Rousseau. I've got, I think, two tracks coming up with him and Diego Mates. I just recorded a new one for him with
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
Mangione. I hope I said that right. So, Diego Mates, right? Yeah, I'm doing a
yeah.
track with him. I recorded one for him last week. So there's a lot of music coming up from deep house to soulful house, disco, some garage, and some tech, which I've
Ah,
never
okay.
done before.
All
So
right.
yeah, I'm trying to make some music for Ibiza and all these fancy, concerts that are happening out there. Yeah, so I'm just spreading my wings into tech as well to just see, testing the public's appetite for the vocals in the tech world to see how they, accept me.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will, and I just absolutely love that, because this is what we were also talking about, that not boxing yourself into some
Yeah,
particular day or so on, just really letting it flow and taking on bravely challenges. And it is really a challenge, and you have to see what works and so on, but you always start the path, you get the feedback, you get the own feel like how does it work for me and so on. And it's
Mhm.
all this lifelong creative learning process that we go through, but it is beautiful way to
Really.
expand and keep creating. Yeah. So I again once more want to thank you for taking time to join in to this
You're welcome. Thank you so
little
much for
interview.
having me.
But before we finish and before we share a little bit about the social media, um, I would like to come back to one question that I very often ask from my guests. So far in your journey, what would you say are the highlight moments personally for you?
Oh my gosh. Every time when I release a song and I get those notifications that it's charted on certain platforms, it's an accomplishment. It's a highlight for me. Because if you think about it, how many amazing artists are filled in this world globally? How many beautiful songs are being released on a daily basis in the thousands? So if you coming into the top 100 of any platform, that is a highlight in itself and something to be celebrated and appreciated. So to everybody that is supporting my music on every platform, whether you are a DJ, radio host, if you are just a music lover or a collector, I really am grateful. So the fact that my music is charted, almost all of my releases are hitting the charts, entering the top 100, into the top 50, top 20, top 10. So for me, that will forever be a highlight. One of the major highlights, I must say, was being featured in a book titled Lady of the House. It's
Oh,
a book
yes.
that consists of, yes, 180 artists, globally that have contributed to the dance community. That was amazing. And by the way, Lady of the House is in South Africa right now. They are running some kind of competition for females only. So, females in South Africa, if you've got some tracks that you would like to release, this is your time. Head on to Lady of the House's pages and submit. I also got some sync deals with Moe France, some sync deals with Netflix, and winning the Vocalist of the Award for the OGV Music Awards.
Yeah.
Those are all my highlights, and I am so grateful because at the end of the day, without you, there is no me. And that is why I make time to handle my own social media. It doesn't care how busy I may be or how high my status may grow. I'm not going to get some PA to handle my pages. I'm going to keep on doing that personally because I feel like you, the people, put me where I am in my career, and I will forever be grateful. And I will always have your time to answer those DMs.
Very important thing and very beautifully said, and a beautiful thought there, because it is all about the human connection, and we connect with each other in the means of music, but also like that one-on-one, when somebody takes time and effort and send you something encouraging and then you give
I'm not
that
sure
back.
if it's.
Beautiful thing, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So now, since we were talking a little bit about the social media, so if somebody wants to find out more about you and doesn't yet know where to find you in social media, where can they find you in social media?
On all platforms, it's my name and surname, Venessa Jackson. My name is spelled with the Venessa. A lot of people spell it VA. It's VE. So it's Venessa Jackson on all platforms.
All right. So please go and check her out if you haven't already done. This powerhouse artist and vocalist and much more than house, like we know. Support her and listen to her amazing music and connect with her. She is just amazing, beautiful,
Thank
how
you.
do you say, like a sunshine in a personality, I would say. I always get this beautiful light and the positive vibes when ever connecting with you, myself in
Thank you
social
so
media,
much.
or when seeing your post or way how you interact with the people. It's just beautiful, and that's what it's
Thank you
truly
so much.
about. Thank you so much, and I'll send you a lot of blessings and love straight from
Thank
the Helsinki,
you.
Finland to South Africa, and of course, lots of love and looking
Lots of
forward.
love and all the best of the success towards your musical journey, your DJing career, and your podcast and whatever else you have planned for your brand. I wish you all the best, Heidi, honestly, deeply.
Likewise. So again, many blessings, and thank you for the interview, and bye bye.
Bye.